Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday, April 9th, and end of the week here, and it's a little cloudy, a little rain out there somewhat, but it's spring, and we're thinking about our homeless in our community. So, and we're going to have Hesed House. We're going to talk about everybody because everybody deserves dignity. We're going to bring up Joe Jackson here. He's gonna the executive director of Hesed House. So we're gonna bring up Joe, and I really appreciate him being with us today. Joe, it's good to have you back with us. I appreciate you. We'll take down this middle nice little logo there, but you got it on your shirt there, so that's good. So we'll compensate there. Joe, it's good to have you. I think the last time I talked to you, I think we called you program manager, if I missed something along that line, but things
Yep.
have changed, and Joe's the executive director, and Ryan's moved out to a more mission front. Ryan Dowd, he's sort of the mission man for the Hesed House, so he spreads his message and learns more and brings it back to Ryan and the board there. So Ryan and the board, Joe and the board. What am I saying? Getting myself tongue tied here. Sorry about that, Joe. And I always think now Joe knows that we would joke about this, that he's got a White Sox in him too. From the past. He's no, famous Joe Jackson and the. Well, we won't get into that, but
I'm wearing shoes today though.
yeah, and I don't want to get into that with you because well, your reputation is better than that. I mean, baseball good, but the other side, we don't want to talk about reputation. So
Right, exactly.
Joe's with us here, and Joe, it's good to see you, sir.
You as well.
You're always smiling and doing good things in the community, and so just give us a little background right now, and maybe what's happening at Hesed. We can talk other questions too, but just what's up there, Joe?
Sure. Well, again, John, thanks for having me on again. Always like talking to you. Um, I think the biggest things that we have going on at Hesed House right now, we're really focusing in on vaccines, getting our guests vaccinated,
Ooh,
getting
very.
our staff vaccinated, and thanks to partnerships with Illinois Department of Public Health, Kane County Health Department, and Aunt Martha's Health Clinic, who we have on site in our 680 South River Street building, we've actually we're in a very good place. I'm proud of Hesed House and what we've been able to do. So at this point, we have just under 90% of our staff fully vaccinated. So more than 2 weeks out since the final dose of the vaccine. And in terms of our guests, we have seen an uptick in guests needing our services and coming to stay with us. But even with that, we're still a little bit above 70% of all of our guests fully vaccinated. And then as we get new guests who come in, we encourage them to go across the street to Aunt Martha's and receive that vaccination there as well. But Aunt Martha's has just been a phenomenal partner to us for years, and we would not be in this position right now without them. So they've been absolutely incredible.
Wow, that's awesome about the vaccine there. I know many. It's been hard lately on the
Mhm.
vaccine. Now, were you using the Johnson and Johnson or like Pfizer Moderna situation?
We would get a combination of Pfizer and Moderna. So for the majority of our staff, they were actually vaccinated at the VNA. And I didn't mention the VNA. The VNA really
Oh,
stepped up
VNA. I was going to
during
bring
that.
them up. They're at the bottom of my
Yep.
screen there to get the vaccinations with their list. They've done so many community vaccinations.
Yes.
They're very awesome. And
And
this,
what an operation there too. I mean, it is completely streamlined. You're in, you're out. they're so polite. They take care of you there. It was a great experience when I received my vaccine there. So
I know, and I went to the county site and signed up through one of the pharmacies. Well, I guess it's pharmacies, Meyer in St. Charles. I was very fortunate to get mine in there, and I just a few days ago got my 2 week thing. So on my second, so I feel like more liberated or whatever you want to
right,
say. It's not
yeah,
perfect. Let's not get carried away here.
mhm,
And I know you got to worry quite a bit about this stuff. I
yeah,
mean, it's not. My friends at Wayside had a good bout of it a while ago too. I think they recovered, but all of a sudden it just hit
yep,
about 2 3 months ago. But it was everything was going good, and then all of a sudden, wham! Um, and I think that was with a lot of people. It sort of spiked there for a while,
mhm.
and that can happen with you there. You got to really. What are some of the protocols you're using there? I mean, there's different things you have to really. It's a very hard thing to do when you're working with homeless. How does that work, Joe?
Yep, absolutely. We're a congregate setting. So the good news is that because of the construction that we completed before the end of 2020, and because of our facilities and things that we have in place already, we are able to keep people 6 feet apart,
Oh,
pretty much at
nice.
all times. So that's phenomenal. We have rigorous cleaning and disinfecting. We have hand sanitizer everywhere. They say you're never more than 10 feet away from a spider. At Hesed House, I don't think you're ever 10 feet away from a bottle of hand sanitizer. Um, so we have that. We were able to purchase the. You look like a Ghostbuster when you put them on. They're the backpacks with the wand that sprays the electrostatic mist.
Oh, so
It's
you can go around just like Ghostbusters. Okay.
exactly right. Yep. And that stuff is great because it's safe for humans, but it kills all viruses and bacteria, which is good. Um, yeah, we have our sleeping quarters where people are 6 feet apart. Uh, yeah, again, we're just doing everything we can, and now with the vaccines in place as well, along with our testing, we test everybody, guests, staff, any volunteers every week. We're able to stay ahead of this thing, and we haven't had any cases with guests in a number of months now. So
Well, that's
that's
very
been great.
good.
Yeah, and
I
the
know
people. Oh, good.
I know early on you had some happening, so you moved the whole operation away for a while. And of course, we didn't have vaccines then, and maybe we weren't as ready on the protocols or what to do. I think we were some, but it just hit there right at the beginning there. And explain a little about how you got that new operation with the new housing there across the street there from your main facility. How explain a little about that and how that came about.
Absolutely. Uh, it's really the story of Hesed and COVID this entire time. It was so much of a community and group effort. We were able to secure some funding with the help of the city of Aurora and DuPage County through the DuPage County CARES Act funding. And then we were able to secure some funding through the Kane County CARES Act funding. And basically, we took about $1.8 million and we converted a sizable section of our warehouse, about 5,000 square feet of previously, unfinished. It was an old rubber manufacturing plant warehouse. Uh, and we converted it from that to what you can see on your screen there, which is a 101 person socially distant shelter space, ADA accessible with uh, washrooms, shower facilities, laundry facilities, sleeping areas, staff office, storage. So that has been phenomenal. When we were able to open that up, we were finally able to get our capacity numbers back up to pre-COVID numbers and actually a little bit more. So we're able to serve all the people that need our services here at Hesed House. Uh, and that's been phase one of that project. There's still about 9,000 square feet left in that warehouse. that we would like to convert to a shelter space as well and make it more of a modern facility for the most vulnerable folks that we have out there, our neighbors in need. So that's on the horizon for us as well. Looking to secure funding for that and potentially break ground on that as soon as we can.
It's awesome about that. I think we were talking before Christmas about some of these things, and it came through for you. I was really happy to see that. And this photos from a nice Naperville community access channel that did 17, I think it's called. So I appreciate that. I grabbed that from that. So they have a nice little video there. You can see more about the whole thing there. It's really just awesome. And I was going to ask you what type of numbers are you seeing right now at Hesed House? Is it up, down, or what would you say?
Compared to earlier in the pandemic, it's going up. We are seeing more and more people every day. Part of us taking and getting the funding from DuPage, we agreed to be an overflow shelter operation for the entire county of DuPage. So now we're taking folks from DuPage County as well, as their shelters have gotten full. So between the normal areas that we serve and now all of DuPage, we are seeing an increase. It's about, on any given night, if everybody shows up, it's about 170 adults in the emergency overnight shelter. And in our family shelter, which we currently have all the families off site in hotels, we have just over 50 men, women, and kiddos out there in hotels. So
Wow,
that's where we're at as far as
that's
numbers.
interesting. I forgot what I was going to say. I had another question along that line about how that's happening. So it's been sort of up and down, but it's basically picking up. And oh shucks, what was I going to think on this one? My mind just went blank there. Sorry, that's old age, I guess, catching up with me, Joe. But anyway, that's very good about what you're doing there with the page and others. And uh, what else is happening there at your shelter there that you'd like people to know about?
One very exciting piece of information that our staff is so excited about, everybody, our guests are thrilled about. We are getting close to being able to bring back volunteers. So at Hesed House, I just said the numbers. We have about 60 staff people, and that includes full time and part time. And we are a 24/7 operation. So staff to number of guests, that it's not a great ratio. We very much depend on volunteers from the community, and every year we have about 8,000 individual volunteers that come in and help us. Since the onset of COVID, we haven't been able to have them come on site. So we've just put together a phased approach, and we're moving into phase one of that here in the next week or so, where volunteer groups that are so amazing and they've been making food and bringing food for our guests during this entire pandemic, now they can come in and make that food in our kitchen. And then as we start to work out some kinks there and really, formalize the process, we'll start to move back to having volunteers in programs around our guests, all those different things. But again, we're over the moon at thinking about the possibility of our volunteers coming back on site, because we have certainly missed them for the past year plus. So
Now you brought up that you have some people off site too. Is that right? You're working with that front and doing that too, right?
yes, we are. So we have our entire family shelter offsite in hotels, but then we also have permanent supportive housing that is out in the community. So these are apartment units where we have individuals who are no longer homeless. They have a place, but we still provide case management services and some resources to them. And we've increased that number year over year. I think it's we're close to 50 units now. So yes, we continue to support people in the community as well. We also have our homeless prevention services, which honestly, the best way to end homelessness is to make sure it doesn't happen in the first place. So if there are folks out there who are behind on rent or about to have a utility turned off, those types of things, they can contact us, and we have a program where we can work with them to alleviate some of those barriers so they don't end up becoming homeless and having to experience
That's where my train of thought comes back. My train came back. Was our what's we still got some more moratoriums. Am I not
that.
correct? We still have some moratoriums on rent. Is that still out there?
Correct. Yes, it is.
So I know before, I think we talked, and I think others, I think I talked to Rick Gooseman too about these
Yes.
with Neighbor Project, and about when these things go away. I mean, these, you know, moratoriums and all that.
Mhm.
That's when we might see some spike here for you, right?
Absolutely. The good news is I, we are absolutely expecting a spike, but we aren't expecting a massive flood of people being evicted because that process takes so much time. And truth be told, the courts will be inundated, and there'll be a backlog there.
Right.
Those steps the sheriff has to take and things like that. So we are hoping that between the moratorium and whatever additional time that process takes, uh, people can get back on track a little bit. If
Right.
they need, we can help them with those things too. But we aren't expecting this massive floodgate to open, so that's good news. But the bad news is, yes, we are expecting a sharp uptick in people needing our services as that moratorium ends.
I know they were gonna. There's going to be some helps for landlords too. It's just not
Mhm.
on the one side
Exactly.
with the
Mhm.
moratorium, and got to think about them too. That's could be income that they need. You know, they might just have a one place like I had in Batavia, and that might be their income for that household. But anyway, those. So that's sort of coming, but you don't expect it sort of be more gradual, maybe, huh,
Correct.
on the growth. But
Mhm.
it could be coming here, and of course we don't want the variants and others to go up here and have a spike, and
Right.
I don't know what for all our everybody, for you and everybody, if something happens, if we get some more, go back to another shutdown here. I mean, I don't want to say that's going to happen, but I put up some Illinois numbers today. Today we had 4,000 new cases in Illinois.
Right. It is. It's a race. It's a race between vaccines and these variants. And
That's what I
I keep
think it is.
praying
It's
that
a
the vaccine
race,
wins.
and I'm glad you're really trying. I don't know. I don't want to say you twist arms, but you are trying somewhat to get everybody vaccinated as much as you can, and give people all the knowledge so they can. Uh, we don't want to hear. I know some people might say this. Oh, the homeless are where we're getting this virus from. Or we've heard stuff like that about down at the border, the same way all those people are giving us all the problems. We don't want to hear, and you're doing it sounds like you with Aunt Martha's, the VNA, you're really trying to nip it in the bud, as they say.
Mhm.
And that's a very good thing, Joe. Uh, Now, what's Ryan doing? Is he just running around, or is he what's he doing there? How is he keeping busy?
So Ryan is still very much a part of Hesed House. As you mentioned, he's our director of mission and strategy. What's happened though is just over time, as he wrote his book that became very successful, and then he started doing the trainings with libraries and hospitals and police departments and private businesses, and then the movie with Emilio Estevez. Uh, that was the public, not any of the Mighty Ducks or any of the reboots that are happening. But he has just been pulled away from Hesed House and has more of a global audience. Honestly, he's done. Uh, he was supposed to go to Australia to do a training. He's done trainings in Brazil, and what
Wow.
he's doing is he's going out and he's bringing the knowledge of 20 plus years of being a leader and a national model for ending homelessness out to all these other organizations. And what's great about that is he's spreading that knowledge, he's spreading those ideas, but he's also picking lots of things up and he brings those back to us at Hesed House. And so then we are able to further ourselves and put some new things into place, some new exciting initiatives, which will be great. He's around to mentor me. I mean, he's doing great. So we are very excited that he is very much still a part of Hesed House. So.
That's great. That's great. Now, coming up, do you have any? Well, you were talking about volunteers getting back. Now,
Mhm.
do you have any fundraiser things coming up, or is that in the fall, or what's the thought on that? I know you're always, when these nonprofits, we're always thinking about our next fundraiser quite a bit. So
Right. Yep.
what's out there?
We so right now, typically in any given year, we have our Kentucky Derby event, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year every single year. We were not able to host it last year, and we will not be able to host it this year. We did just have, and actually the posters right there. Justin Willman put on an online magic show for us. That was a huge success. So that was great. But looking forward, we're not confident, at least in the near future, that we can have events like that Kentucky Derby just yet. We want to be as safe as possible, so we're holding off on that for this year. But if people would like to help us out financially or otherwise, they can visit www.hesedhouse.org. It's one S in Hesed, and there's a donate now button in the upper right hand corner that is super easy and simple to donate. So
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't put up that website, but you got that spelling. That got me before. That double S. No, don't think double S. It's one S.
one S.
Hesed, and so I've caught myself on that several times in the past. And Ryan, I just thank you for sharing here today a little what's happening, and we'll have to keep our prayers that everything just moves ahead smoothly here with this
Absolutely.
pandemic, and what you're doing and your staff, and keep away from that virus, and just give people more hope. And that's what you're doing. And yeah, I remember on the website, and others have talked about it, you're let's end homelessness. Now I know you're working at it in various ways here, and I see that. I didn't know you were doing that counseling and all that. Others, you're getting in the meat and potatoes of the whole homeless issue for a lot of people,
Hmm.
and and I know you do the health services. I know mental illness is out there too, and homelessness,
Hmm.
and that's another factor. There's so many factors in a lot of these problems we have in our country. It's just not one quote
Exactly.
answer, but
Hmm.
when people of faith put together and think broadly, we can do something, and Hesed House is doing that, and I just appreciate that. Ryan, you got any other final thoughts here?
No, just again, thank you so much, John, for having me on. I always like coming on and chatting with you, and to everybody out there who has helped Hesed House through this pandemic. Um, like Ryan always used to say in his videos, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this together, and get through this together by taking care of the most
Yeah.
vulnerable. And the Aurora and the greater Fox Valley community has rallied around Hesed House and our guests so much, and we would not be where we are today without everybody out there, all your support, your prayers, your well wishes. So thank you to everybody who has helped us. You're amazing.
Again, that was hesedhouse.org, right?
Correct. Yes.
With one S.
One S.
1S. I remember that. I mean, that's a good thing to say it that way. I think it gets it in the mind quite well about that spelling. Well, next Monday, Lord willing, we'll have a guest here, so just come back and be with us. I'm working on those all the time. They're a work in progress, but next Monday we'll have a guest. And so again, I want to thank Joe for being with us. I want you to look down at the bottom there for the VNA to get helps there. If you need a COVID test, you can call on that and get an appointment. The other is the waiting list. So at the VNA health.com slash COVID dash vaccine. So sign up that way, and they're a real good organization. And Joe, again, we thank you for being with us today. You're a blessing to the community, and Hesed House is doing a great job. And let's just keep that in our prayers and keep moving ahead here. And thank you, Joe Jackson. Thank you very much. And I just want to say, God bless all you folks out there. And we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye. Keep safe this weekend. Let's get those people, let's get vaccinated too. So God bless you. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Thank you, John.